Hello friends, welcome back to the Justice Junction. In this video, I am going to share with you question answer of Code of Civil Procedure. It's kind of revision before any legal competitive exams. So fasten your seatbelts and get ready to the intellectual journey of question answer of Civil Procedure Code. Start करते हैं. First question is, what are the possible outcomes when a defendant seeks leave to defend under Order 37 of the CPC? A leave to defend under Order 37 may be refused, grant unconditionally or grant conditionally. Leave to defend को Order 37 में रिफ्यूज भी किया जा सकता है, ग्रांट भी किया जा सकता है कंडीशनली और अनकंडीशनली. Next question is, what happens if a defendant fails to put in appearance or fails to apply for leave to defend within the statutory period as per Order 37 of CPC? If a defendant fails to put in appearance or fails to apply for leave to defend within the statutory period, the suit is liable to be decreed. अगर डिफेंडेंट फेल हो जाता है अपीयर होने में विद इन द स्टैट्यूटरी पीरियड अंडर ऑर्डर 37 ऑफ CPC, देन सूट इज लायबल टू बी डिक्रीड. Next question is it possible to set aside a decree passed in a suit under Order 37 of CPC due to non-application for leave to defend? Yes, a decree passed in a suit under Order 37 of CPC due to non-application for leave to defend may be set aside under Order 37 Rule 4 of CPC. If decree passed in a suit under Order 37 of CPC due to non-applying for leave to defend, अगर वो अप्लाई नहीं करते लीव टू डिफेंड, उसको सेट असाइड करवाया जा सकता है अंडर Order 37 Rule 4 of CPC. Next question is, under what circumstances can an ex parte decree passed under Order 37 of CPC be set aside under Order 37 Rule 4? An ex parte decree passed under Order 37 of CPC can be set aside under Order 37 Rule 4 under special circumstances. ये special circumstances के अंडर set aside हो सकती है under Order 37 Rule 4 of CPC. Next question is, what is the legal consequence of an agreement or compromise entered into the behalf of a minor without the court's leave as per Order 38 Rule 7 of CPC? An agreement entered into or compromise made on behalf of a minor without the leave of the court under Order 32 Rule 7 of CPC is voidable against all the parties other than the minor. अगर कोई agreement या compromise होता है on the behalf of minor बिना कोर्ट की परमिशन के, तो उसको voidable माना जाएगा against all the parties other than minor under Order 32 Rule 7. Next question is, can a next friend under Order 32 Rule 8 of CPC retire without certain conditions? No. A next friend under Order 32 Rule 8 of CPC cannot retire without first procuring a fit person to replace him, without furnishing security for cost already incurred. Next question is, what happens when next friend retires, is removed or dies under Order 32 Rule 10 of the CPC? On the retirement, removal or death of a next friend under Order 32 Rule 10 of CPC, the suit is liable to be stayed. अगर नेक्स्ट फ्रेंड रिटायर हो जाता है, रिमूव कर दिया जाता है और उसकी डेथ हो जाती है, तो Order 32 Rule 10 CPC के अंदर सूट को स्टे कर दिया जाएगा. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, अंडर व्हाट सर्कमस्टांसेस कैन ए नेक्स्ट फ्रेंड और गार्जियन ऑफ ए माइनर इन ए सूट बी डिस्चार्ज्ड? ए नेक्स्ट फ्रेंड और ए गार्जियन ऑफ ए माइनर इन ए सूट कैन बी डिस्चार्ज्ड if the minor, upon attaining majority, elects to continue with the suit and applies for the discharge. किसी भी माइनर के नेक्स्ट फ्रेंड और गार्जियन को डिस्चार्ज कर सकते हैं जब माइनर अटेन कर ले मेजोरिटी और इलेक्ट करे टू कंटिन्यू विद द सूट एंड अप्लाइज फॉर द डिस्चार्ज, अप्लाई कर दे डिस्चार्ज के लिए नेक्स्ट फ्रेंड को. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, वेयर आर द प्रोविजंस रिलेटेड टू द एग्जीक्यूशन ऑफ डिक्री ऑफ द CPC फाउंड? The provisions related to the execution of decree are contained in Order 21 of the CPC. Next question is, to which court should an application for the execution of decree be made as per Section 38 of the CPC? An application for the execution of a decree is to be made to the court which passed it, the court to which the decree has been transferred. Next question is, what is the extent of authority of an executing court concerning the terms of a decree An executing court cannot modify or vary the terms of the decree. एग्जीक्यूटिंग कोर्ट कभी भी मॉडिफाई और वेरी नहीं कर सकती डिक्री को, वो बस एग्जीक्यूट करवा सकती है। नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज व्हाट डज द एक्सप्रेशन द कोर्ट विच पास्ड द डिक्री include under section 38 of the CPC. The expression the court which passed the decree includes the court of the first instance which actually passed the decree, and the court of the first instance in case of appellate decree, and in case where the court of first instance ceases to exist or have jurisdiction to execute the decree, it includes the court which would have jurisdiction to try the suit at the time of the execution. The court which passed the decree term का मतलब है the court of the first instance, जहाँ पे सबसे पहले डिक्री पास हुई है। दूसरा, जहाँ पे फर्स्ट इंस्टेंस पे एपिलेट डिक्री पास हुई है। तीसरा, where the court of first instance ceased to exist or have jurisdiction to execute the decree, the court which would have jurisdiction to try the suit at the time of execution. Next question is, where can you find the provisions related to the transfer of a decree for execution to another court of the CPC? The provisions related to the transfer of a decree for the execution of another court are dealt with the section 39 of CPC. Next question is it necessary to issue a notice for the application for the execution of a decree to the judgment debtor if the execution is applied for within 2 years of the decree? No, the law does not require the issuance of notice of the application for execution of a decree to the judgment debtor when the execution is applied for within 2 years of the decree. Next question is, what does the term percept refer to the context of the CPC? The term percept refer to an order to another competent court to attach any property of the judgment debtor. The purpose of the percept is direct the receiving court to take specific actions such as attaching the property of a judgment debtor or carrying out the enforcement measures to satisfy a decree. Next question is, can an executing court determine questions related to the modification of a decree? No, an executing court cannot determine questions related to the modification of the decree. Executing court determine नहीं कर सकती कोई भी question related to the modification of a decree. Next question is, in case of joint decree, who can apply for the execution of decree? In the case of a joint decree, the execution must be applied for either by one or more of the decree holders or by all the decree holders. In case of joint decree, execution apply होगा either by one or more of the decree holders or by all the decree holders. Next question is, what is the consequence of omitting to give notice under Order 21, Rule 22 of the CPC? Omission to give notice under Order 21, Rule 22 will render the execution null and void. अगर हम नोटिस को omit कर देते हैं तो Order 21, Rule 22 के अंदर execution void हो जाएगा और null हो जाएगा. Next question is, how long does the attachment of property under a percept remains valid and can it be extended? The attachment of property under a percept shall remain valid for a period of 60 days unless extended. Property को attach करवाना under percept valid for 60 days until extended by the court. Next question is, against whom can the execution of a decree be applied for? The execution of a decree can be applied for against the judgment debtor personally, in case of the judgment debtor being deceased, against the legal representative of the judgment debtor. Next question is, who is responsible for determining whether a person is representative of a party during execution proceeding when such a question arises? During the execution proceedings, if a person arises as to whether any person is a representative of a party, such a question shall be determined by the court executing decree. Execution proceedings के दौरान अगर कोई क्वेश्चन पूछा जाता है क्या यह पर्सन रिप्रेजेंटेटिव है पार्टी का, तो ये क्वेश्चन डिटरमाइन किया जाएगा कोर्ट के द्वारा. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन इज, हु आर कंसिडर्ड पार्टीज टू द सूट एज पर सेक्शन 47 ऑफ द CPC? Parties of the suit as per section 47 of the CPC include the parties themselves, the representative of the parties, and auction purchaser in execution of a decree. Next question is section 47 of the CPC mandatory, as what does it bar? Yes, Section 47 of the CPC is mandatory and it bars both his suit and the defense. Section 47 CPC में mandatory है और ये बार करता है सूट और डिफेंस दोनों को. Next question is, where are the modes of execution of a decree stated in the CPC? The modes of execution of a decree are stated in Section 51 of the CPC. Next question is, what is the role of garnishee in context of the CPC? A garnishee is the judgment debtor's debtor. Garnishee refers to a third party who owes money to the judgment debtor or holds property on behalf of the judgment debtor. When a judgment creditor seeks to recover a debt owed of them by the judgment debtor, they may use legal process called garnishee proceedings to attach the money or property held by the garnishee. Next question is, what does a garnishee order as provided under Rule 46E of Order 21 do? A garnishee order as provided under Rule 46E Order 21 is an order that prohibits the judgment debtor's debtor from making any payment to the judgment debtor. Next question is, under what conditions does Section 58 of the CPC prohibit arrest and detention in civil imprisonment? Section 58 of the CPC prohibit arrest and detention in civil imprisonment when the decree is for payment not exceeding 2000. अगर डिक्री की मनी 2000 से ज़्यादा नहीं है तो CPC के सेक्शन 58 के अंदर प्रोहिबिट है अरेस्ट एंड डिटेंशन इन सिविल केसेस. Next question is, what is the maximum period of detention in civil imprisonment under Section 58 of CPC for a decree exceeding Rs 2000 but not less than Rs 5000? The maximum period for detention in civil imprisonment under Section 58 of the CPC for a decree exceeding 2000 but less than 5000 is 6 weeks. Maximum period of detention in civil imprisonment होगा in case decree is more than 2000 but less than Rs 5000 under Section 58 is 6 months. Next question is, what is the maximum period of detention in civil imprisonment under Section 58 of CPC for a decree exceeding Rs 5000? Maximum period of detention कितना होगा जब डिक्री 5000 से ज़्यादा की होगी under Section 58? That is 3 months. 3 महीने का maximum period of detention होगा when decree is more than 5000 rupees. Next question is, what is the term of execution by appointment of a receiver? Execution by appointment of a receiver called equitable execution. इसको equitable execution बोलेंगे जब execution होगा receiver को appoint करके. Next question is, which section of CPC enlist properties that are not liable to be attached in the execution of decree? Section 60 of the Code of Civil Procedure enlist properties that are not liable to be attached in the execution of a decree. Next question is, in the execution of a decree for maintenance, to what extent can the salary of a person be attached? In the execution of a decree for maintenance, the salary of a person can be attached to the extent of 2/3. Next question is, who is responsible for paying the subsistence allowance for a person detained in civil imprisonment in the execution of a decree? The subsistence allowance in respect of a person detained in civil imprisonment has to be paid by the decree holder. Next question is, what is the status of private alienation of property by the judgment debtor after attachment under Section 64 Clause 1 of the CPC? A private alienation of property by the judgment debtor after attachment under Section 64 Clause 1 of CPC is void. Next question is, can a private transfer or delivery of the property attached be considered valid under certain circumstances as per Section 64 Clause 2 of the CPC? Answer is yes. A private transfer or delivery of the property attached made in pursuance of any contract for such transfer or delivery entered into the registered before the attachment by the virtue of Section 64 Clause 2 of CPC shall be valid. Next question is, to what extent can the salary of a person be attached in the execution of a decree other than a decree for maintenance? In the execution of a decree other than a decree of maintenance, the salary of the person cannot be attached to the extent of 1000 rupees and 2/3 of the remainder. Next question is, which section of CPC contains the doctrine of restitution? The doctrine of restitution is contained in Section 144 of the CPC. Next question is, what provisions in the CPC allows the Right to lodge a caveat. Right to lodge a caveat is provided under section 148A of the CPC. Next question is, how long does a caveat remains in force under section 148A of CPC? A caveat shall not remain in force after the expiry of 90 days. Caveat force में नहीं रहेगी 90 दिन के बाद. Next question is, what is the entitlement of a caveator when lodging a caveat under section 148A of the CPC? Lodging a caveat under section 148A of CPC entitles the caveator to receive notice of any application that may be made in relevant proceedings. Next question is, against whom can restitution be sought under section 144 of the CPC? Restitution under section 144 of the CPC can be sought against a party to the suit and against legal representative of a party. Next question is, in which section of CPC are the inherent power of court contained? The inherent power of the court are contained in section 151 of the CPC. Next question is section 144 of CPC equitable in nature? Yes, section 144 of the CPC considered to be an equitable nature. Next question is the court's power under section 144 of the CPC obligatory? The court's power under section 144 of the CPC is not obligatory but discretionary, and it allows the restitution in appropriate cases. Next question is, are the inherent power under section 151 of the CPC exhaustive in nature? No, the inherent power under section 151 of the CPC are not exhaustive, and they provide the court with the flexibility to make orders necessary for the end of justice. Next question is, what does section 152 of the CPC empower the court to do? Section 152 of the CPC empowers the court to make correction in cases of clerical or arithmetical mistakes, accidental slips, or omission in judgments, decrees, orders, or other parts of the court's record. Next question is, what is the general power granted to the court by virtue of section 153 of the CPC? Section 153 of the CPC gives the court general power to amend any error or defect in any proceedings in a suit. This power allows the court to rectify any mistake or deficiencies in the proceedings to ensure that justice is done. Next question is, where can you find the provisions for substituted service of summon on the defendant in the CPC? The provisions for substituted service of summon on the defendant is made under Order 5 Rule 20 of the CPC. Next question is, under which provision of the CPC can dasti summon for serving on the defendant can be given to the plaintiff? Dasti summon for serving on the defendant can be given to the plaintiff by virtue of Order 5 Rule 9A of the CPC. Next question is, in the CPC, where can you find provisions for discovery by interrogatories and the inspection? Provisions for discovery by interrogatories and inspection are provided under Order 11 of the CPC. That's it for today. Thank you for joining us today to learn about the question answer of Code of Civil Procedure for preliminary point of view. Stay informed, stay tuned, and stay engaged. Keep exploring and keep learning. See you in next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Goodbye.